गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट, वेलकम टू एसबीआई ऑनलाइन क्लास। बच्चों, आज मैं क्लास 7 में हिंदी साहित्य के अंतर्गत पाठ 1 और भी दूं नामक कविता आपको सासर वाचन करते हुए व कठिन शब्दों का निवारण करते हुए व्याख्या समझाऊंगी। सबसे पहले इस कविता का मैं आपको सामान्य परिचय देना चाहती हूँ कि इस कविता में क्या बताया जा रहा है। और भी दो नामक कविता रामावतार त्यागी जी द्वारा रचित है। इस कविता में इन्होंने बताया है कि किस प्रकार से सैनिक अपने आप को स्वतंत्रता के मार्ग पर आगे चलते हुए वह बता रहे हैं कि मैं देश के लिए अपना सर्वस्व निछावर कर दूं, और फिर भी मन में चाह है कि और भी मैं अपने देश को क्या अर्पण कर सकता हूँ। तो इस कविता के अंतर्गत पहला पैराग्राफ है, मन समर्पित तन समर्पित और यह जीवन समर्पित, चाहता हूँ देश की धरती तुझे कुछ और भी दूं। रामावतार त्यागी द्वारा रचित ये जो कविता है, इसमें इन्होंने बताया है कि कवि कहता है कि मन समर्पित तन समर्पित, जो देशभक्त है वह कह रहे हैं कि हे धरती माँ, आपके लिए मेरा मन समर्पित है, अर्थात मैंने अर्पण किया। तन समर्पित, मैं अपना तन भी अर्पण करता हूँ, और यह जीवन भी, अर्थात जो मेरा ये जीवन है वह भी मैं पूर्ण रूप से अर्पण कर रहा हूँ। चाहता हूँ देश की धरती तुझे कुछ और भी दूं, अर्थात मन तन और ये सारा जीवन समर्पण करने के बाद भी उनके मन में इच्छा है कि हे देश की धरती माता, मैं आपको इनके अलावा कुछ और भी अर्पित करूं। माँ तुम्हारा ऋण बहुत है, मैं अकिंचन, किंतु इतना कर सहारा। यहाँ पर ऋण का अर्थ कर्ज है, अकिंचन का अर्थ है निर्धन। तो क्या कह रहे हैं कि माँ तुम्हारा ऋण बहुत है, अर्थात हे धरती माता, आपका जो कर्ज है वह हमारे ऊपर बहुत है। मैं अकिंचन, मैं निर्धन हूँ, किंतु इतना, फिर भी मैं कह रहा हूँ कि फिर भी निवेदन, मतलब निर्धन होने के बावजूद भी वह क्या कह रहे हैं कि मैं फिर भी आपसे निवेदन, मतलब होता है प्रार्थना करना, कि मैं फिर भी प्रार्थना करता हूँ कि थाल में लाऊं सजाकर भाल, जब भी भाल का अर्थ यहाँ मस्तक से है, कर दया स्वीकार लेना यह समर्पण। अर्थात इन पंक्तियों में कवि बता रहा है कि वह जो देशभक्त है वह क्या कह रहे हैं कि थाल में लाऊं सजाकर भाल, अर्थात मैं जब थाल में अपना सिर सजा कर लाऊं तो दया कर, हे धरती माता, दया करके आप उसे स्वीकार कर लेना, अर्थात जो मैं आपके लिए अर्पण कर रहा हूं उसको स्वीकार कर लेना। गान अर्पित, प्राण अर्पित, रक्त का कण कण समर्पित, जो मैं आपके लिए आपकी श्रद्धा में गीत गा रहा हूँ उनको स्वीकार कीजिए। प्राण अर्पित, और जो मेरे ये शरीर रूपी जो शरीर है उसमें जो प्राण है, जो श्वास निकल रही है, उन सभी को मैं आपको समर्पित कर रहा हूँ। रक्त का कण कण समर्पित, और मेरे शरीर में जो ये खून है उसकी एक एक बूंद आपको समर्पित है। चाहता हूँ देश की धरती तुझे कुछ और भी दूं, और सब कुछ अर्पण करने के बाद भी मेरे मन में ऐसी इच्छा है कि हे धरती माँ, इसके सिवा मैं ऐसा और भी क्या दूं जो मैं आपको समर्पित कर सकूं। अर्थात इस पैराग्राफ में कवि ने बताया है कि जो देशभक्त हैं, जो देश के लिए अपना सर्वस्व निछावर करने वाले हैं, वो चाहते हैं कि अपने शरीर का एक एक कण, जो एक खून का कतरा है, पूरा जीवन है, वह किसके ऊपर, धरती माँ के ऊपर निछावर कर दें। तो धन्यवाद छात्रों, आज के लिए इतना ही। मैं अपने अगले वीडियो में यह कविता जारी रखूंगी।
Hello students, have a wonderful morning to one you all. It's here for you an English teacher for this video lecture. Student, today we will study the English language portion. In English language portion, we will study a new topic. English language, and the topic of today is noun. The topic of today is noun. Students, you know that in English language, the noun topic is very familiar to you. It's not a new topic for you. So, we have been studying this topic from your first and second class. But in this class, I will tell you thoroughly, I will give you the deep knowledge of noun. So first we will see the definition of noun. The definition of noun. So student, the definition of noun is a noun. A noun is the name of any person, place, or thing. I just repeat the definition. A noun is the name of any person, place, or thing, etc. Either you can say the examples are this one is name of any place, just like Kanpur, and any name of the person, Anjali, and anything, just like pen or pencil, etc. So student, first you look at the blackboard. A noun is the name of any person, place, or thing. So if you go through this definition, if we talk about any person, suppose that there are so many person, and if we talk about the person by its name, so just like many more names are there, just like Anjali, Rohan, Dinesh, Mukesh, Rakesh. So these all are words in the category of person. So these all are noun. And place, any place, the place where we live, the place where we live. So any place, just like name of any place, Kanpur, Lucknow, Allahabad, Calcutta, Delhi, Mumbai. So these are the name of place. And thing. Things, you can see different types of the things in your surroundings. Different types of the things in your surroundings, in your environment. Many things, just like you have different types of the things in your bag, pen, pencil, books, rubber, sharpener, lunch box, water bottle. These are the things that you kept in your bag. So these all are the things in the category of noun. These all are things in the category of noun. So student, through this definition, we come to know that any name of the person, any name of the person, not a particular name of the person, any name of the person, any name of the place, or any type of the thing. If you sit at your home, if you sit in your study room, so when you sit in your study room, you can see your surroundings. Many things are kept here and there, just like your furniture, your box, your almirah, your cupboard, and your fan. So these are the things in the category of thing. And many are the things we find in the kitchen, many are the things we find in the office. So all types of the things, student, we can say all the things that are presented in the world, all the things that are presented in the world, these are in the category of noun. These are in the category of noun. It means to say everything we can name the noun. So the simple definition is this, that a noun is the name of any person, place, or thing. But a very thoroughly definition, a very good definition for you that naming words are noun. Naming words are noun. Naming words are noun. So after going through this definition, after teaching this thing to you, I just want to tell you the kinds of noun. The kinds of noun. So student, you have to learn this definition, and after learning this one, after coming to know this definition, you have to know the types of the pronoun. The types of the pronoun. So I am writing here types of noun. Types of noun. Types of noun. The first one is proper noun. The first one is proper noun. Fine. The first one is proper noun. Proper noun means the particular name of any person, place or thing. The particular name of any person, place or thing, or the special name of any person, place or thing. Just like, you know that in the noun category, we have already taught you that person, place or thing comes, but if there is a particular name of place, if there is a particular name of person, if there is a particular name of thing, so these are in the category of noun. Particular name of person means, particular name of person you can say Rohan. Fine. So Rohan is a proper noun because it's a special name of a person. It's a special name of the person, so it's a proper noun. What's the meaning of the special name? There are so many students in the class, there are 40 students in the class, but Rohan is only one. Rohan is only one. This name specifies the boy. And if there is a name Anjali, Anjali, fine. So Anjali is also a proper noun because it's a special name of a girl. It's a particular name of a girl. So noun is the name of any person. Noun is the name of any person. Your definition clears from here. Anjali is a proper noun. And if the name of any place, just like Lucknow, fine. So it's a particular name of a city. There is a particular name of city. Kanpur is a particular name of city. And thing, just like thing. The thing is that Rotomac pen. Fine. So pen, what is pen? Pen is a thing. Pen is a thing. But if we talk about the name of this pen, so that is the proper noun. So student, the thing is that if I tell you the thing, if I tell you the person, if I tell you the place by their names, so these are in the category of noun. These are in the category of proper noun. Just like you can say the example, Anjali is a good girl in my class. So Anjali is a proper noun. Rohan is an intelligent boy in my class. Fine. Lucknow is the capital of UP. Rotomac is a pen that writes very well. Fine. So these are the examples for you so that you come to know that what is proper noun. So student, you have to learn, you have to make a list of the proper noun. Then after, you have to know the second one, that is the common noun. That is the common noun. Fine. Common noun. Common noun is in the category of the noun, but here it does not specify the thing. It does not specify the person. It does not specify the place. Suppose that the sentence is, there are 60 students in the class. There are 60 students in the class. So students, what is a student? Student common, because it's a common. Many students are there. There is no particular quality. So student common. And boys. boys, common noun. Girls, common noun. Fine. So these are in the category of the common noun because it's not the particular name of person, place or thing. It's not the particular name of the person. Many student, there's a common thing. Many boys, there's a common thing. Many girls, it's a common thing. Fine. And cities, countries. Fine. So cities, there are so many cities, there are so many countries. Cities, countries, villages, etc. Fine. So these are the common place. Cities, countries, villages. And one more thing is that if we talk about the thing, just like pen, books, and notebooks, etc. Fine. So these are the common noun. Students, boys, girls, cities, countries, villages, pen, books, notebooks. These are the common noun. So after these two we will proceed to the third one. And the third one is, what is the third one? Third one is your collective noun. Third one is your collective noun. Student, you know what is the meaning of the collective? What is the meaning of the collection? The third one is collective noun. Collective. The word collective has been come from the collection. The word collective has been come from the collection. It means to say when there is a group of thing. There is a group of thing, that is the collective noun. Suppose that the students are sitting in class. The students are sitting in class. So class, what is class? Class is your collective noun because it's a group of the student. Army. Army is a collective noun because it's a group of the soldier. So student, whenever you find the collection of person, whenever you find the collection of person, that is your collective noun. Many more examples are there. And the fourth one is material noun. The fourth one is material noun. Material means the thing, the substance by which we prepared something. By which we prepared something. So material noun, in material noun we use the thing, the material that we use to prepare something. Just like wood is used to prepare furniture. And milk is used to prepare sweets and other things like this. So wood and milk, curd, silver, gold, etc. So student, these are the things that are in the category of the material noun because we use these things to prepare something. Fine. And the last one is your abstract noun. Abstract noun. Abstract means a thing that you cannot see. the thing that you cannot see, a thing, such type of the thing that you cannot touch. It means to say the thing that you can only feel, that you can only feel. That is the abstract noun. That is the abstract noun. So student, your abstract noun comes from your adjective. Your abstract noun comes from your adjective. And everyone has adjective. Everyone has adjective in himself. Suppose that many students in the class, so every student has some particular qualities. Suppose that someone is honest, someone is stupid, someone is foolish, someone is naughty, someone is intelligent. So these adjective can be transferred into abstract noun. Can be transferred into abstract noun. Suppose that there is a word intelligent. Suppose that there is a word intelligent. Rohan is an intelligent boy in the class. So what is the abstract noun of intelligent? Intelligence. 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 So student, intelligence is your abstract noun because intelligence is a word that you cannot touch, that you cannot see, but you can only feel. If someone has intelligence, it means that person is intelligent. Fine. And the another one is beautiful. Beautiful. And the next one is beautiful is your adjective. You have to write over here the abstract noun of it. So the abstract noun of beautiful is beauty. Is beauty. Fine. So beauty is your abstract noun. And another one is suppose that someone is sincere. Someone is sincere. So sincerity. Sincerity is your abstract noun. So student, these are the words that come in the category of the abstract noun because you cannot touch them, you cannot see them, but you can only feel them. Fine. So this is your noun chapter. Today I taught you the introduction and the types of the noun. I hope so that you have got this video lecture, and it's enough for today. Thank you and have a nice day to one you all.
Hello and welcome students in your first chapter of class 7th, that is integers. So as we are starting this chapter integers, we should be knowing what are actually integers. Okay, what are integers? Integers are all the negative numbers, all the negative numbers, all the negative numbers along with all the whole numbers, that is minus infinity to -3, -2, -1, 0, +1, +2, +3, dash 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 to the positive infinity. This set of numbers is termed to be the integers. We could write these inside a set. This set will be considered as the set of integers. We are denoting this with I. So this is the basic idea of integers. What are integers? All the numbers which are starting from 0 going till the positive infinity along with all the negative natural numbers. These set of numbers are termed to be as integers. Next. Next, I would be representing these numbers on a number line. That is, so this is -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3 and infinity. This is the number line for integers. This is normal idea regarding the integers. Next, comparison of integers. Comparison of integers. you all are very much aware about the numbers, which is the greater number and which is the smaller number. Starting with a very small and very easy example, that is 3 and 4. This is written 3 and this is written 4. So I would be asking which is the greater number. This automatically 4 is a greater number. Okay. The difficulty comes when the number come into the negative side. That is, if it is written -4 and it is written -3, and you will be asked which is a greater number. So we'll have to check the magnitude as well as the sign. Here the magnitude of this number is 4 and the magnitude of this number is 3. Now we'll be going to the sign. It is negative -4 and this is negative -3. This could be understood by the very small and very normal kind of concept, that is, negative sign will be treated as you have taken some money from others as a loan. Suppose you have taken ₹4 from someone as a loan, then you will be asked to repay ₹4. And if you have taken 3 as a loan, then you will be asked to repay ₹3 as a loan. So here we could say 3 is the lesser amount, hence it will give us less pain in order to repay the loan. That is, -3 will be the greater number and will be putting us into the some more comfortable situation rather than by -4. If you have not understand, then we'll be dealing with some other example, like if you are asked -4 and here it is -2. We'll see the magnitude -2 and here both the sign are negative, then the number with the lesser magnitude will be greater. Other example, like it is written 4 and here it is written -2. Then which is greater? It is very obvious that 4 is greater than -2. 3 examples are here. 3 and 4, this is very clear. 4 is greater than 3. Here if it is written -4 and -2, -2 would be greater than -4. Here if it's written 4 and -2, this is very obvious that negative value will be automatically smaller than the positive value, hence 4 will be greater than -2. This is the basic idea regarding the comparison of the integers. Next, after knowing all these normal and basic things regarding the integers, we will be coming to the thing of addition of integers. Addition of integers. I will be telling you certain things regarding integers, addition of integers without using number line. That is, we will be not using the number lines here. Initially, we will be just normally adding these numbers. For example, it is written -2 and 3. We are asked to add -2 with 3. Then we will be replacing this "and" with a plus sign. That is -2 plus 3. You have already studied these addition of integers in your past classes, though I don't find you will be finding much difficulty in understanding this basic kind of things. We already know that while adding certain integers, we have negative sign and positive sign, that is minus plus will be giving minus, that is 3 minus 2 will be 1. Now it comes what sign will be putting in front of it. The sign which will be coming in front of it will be the number having the greater value. Here 3 is having the greater value and 3 has a sign that is positive sign. So answer would be +1. This is the first example. Now going to the second example. For example, you are asked -2 and -4. You are asked to add -2 and -4. Same way we will be removing this "and" with a plus sign. It will be -2 plus -4. So it will be plus minus minus. The answer would be -2 -4. The new question which will be coming out in front of me in front of us will be -2 and -4. Minus minus is plus. Then we'll be adding this 4 and this 2. It will be 6. Now the question arises: what will be the sign before before 6? That is, in both of the digits we have negative sign. Hence the sign here will be negative. That is -6. So this is the thing we will be dealing with while adding certain kind of integers. Same goes with subtraction. So that means addition and subtraction are correlated to each other as far as integers are concerned. Further moving further into the chapter, I will be telling you the multiplication and division of integers. That is, first is multiplication of integers. Multiplication of integers. This multiplication will be very similar to the normal multiplication we have been doing in the into the junior classes. That is, if we are asked normally to multiply 4 with 3, you all are very much aware that the answer would be purely 12. There is no problem with that. The problem arises when we are provided with certain kind of integers which have a negative value. That is, minus 4 multiply with 3. The answer will be 4 into 3, 12, and minus plus minus. The answer would be minus 12. Next, if you are asked multiply minus 4 with minus 3, the numerical digit will not change. The things which will be changing will be only the signs. Here 4 and 3 will be giving 12, and minus would be giving us plus, that is plus 12. This is the normal kind of operations we will be doing and will be dealing in order to multiply certain kind of integers. In the next class we will be dealing with our division things. Thank you very much.
Hello student, this is Minashi Trivedi. I am your physics teacher. Student, today we are going to start chapter first, which is physical quantities and measurement. Student, this chapter is divided into 3 units. First is area and its measurement, and second volume and its measurement, and third measurement of density and speed. So we will discuss about its area and its measurement. So student, what is area? The amount of surface occupied by an object is called its area. Now, the amount of surface occupied by an object is called its area. Now, its unit student, for measuring the area of table, chair, plots, etc., we need some kind of standard unit, because if we measure by the help of body parts, then this will vary for different peoples, so the accuracy will be not there. So the standard international or SI system provides us a proper unit of area, that is square meter. Now this standard unit of area is divided into 2 units, sum multiples unit of area and multiple unit of area. Now first one is sum multiples unit of area. Student, suppose we measure the area of very small objects like books, rupees coin and shaving blades, etc. So we need some kind of smaller units. These units are known as sum multiples unit of area, and these units are millimeter square and centimeter square and millimeter square. Now multiples unit of area. Students, similarly, when we have to measure bigger areas such as area of land and area of town or area of city, etc., we need some bigger units, and these units are known as multiples unit of area, and these units are air, hectare and square kilometer. Now, formula for calculating areas of some regular surfaces. First is area of square. Area of square equal to side into side. And second, area of rectangle equal to length into breadth. And third, area of circle equal to pi r square. Here, pi is the value of 22 upon 7 or 3.14 and r is the radius. Area of triangle equal to 1 by 2 into base into altitude. And area of cylinder equal to 2 pi RH. And area of sphere equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube, where the value of pi is 22 upon 7. So, student, today's class is over. In next class, we will discuss numerical problem with this unit. Thank you.
Students, welcome to Asia online classes of chemistry. Today is the class of class 7 and the subject is chemistry. Today chapter is matter and its composition. Firstly, student, first question arises, what is matter? So student, matter is that type of substance which occupy space and having mass. So you can say that those type of substance which occupies space and having mass is known as matter. So students, what is matter? Matter is that type of substance which occupies space and having mass. For example, this blackboard occupies space and it also have mass. That is why you can say that it occupies space and having mass. That is why it is matter. So matter आपके ऐसे कोई भी substance होते हैं which present in our surrounding, occupy space and having mass is known as matter. For example, those type of substance which present in your surrounding is known as matter. For example, like as blackboard, for example chalk, for example box, for example water, etc. So these all are in your surrounding. Lots of things are present, which are the example of matter. How we can classify matter? Students, matter is classified into three forms: solid, liquid and gas. Matter classified into three forms: solid form, liquid form and gases form. Solid, liquid and gas. In this chapter, I'll explain about what is the properties of solid, what is the properties of liquid and what is the properties of gases. Firstly, what is the example of solid? The example of solid is box and box. These are the example of solid. What is the example of liquid? Water as well as cold drink. These are the example of liquid. What is the example of gases? So students, example of gases are air, perfume, etc. So these are the example of gases. So matter is classified into three forms: solid form, liquid form as well as gas form. Example of solids are box and box. Example of liquid are water and cold drink. Example of gases are air and perfume. So that is the classification of matter. Students, what is the composition of matter? Would matter how it is composed. It means कि आप matter को कैसे form करते हो. What is the composition of matter? So students, firstly I'll explain about what is atom. What is atom? Atom is a smallest particle. That is the smallest particle which is used in all type of chemical reaction and make a molecule. When lots of atoms are combined together, it form a molecule. Students, when lots of molecules are combined together, it form a matter. So matter may be particle. Those type of particles, like as these are the particles which is used in the formation of matter, is known as intermolecular particles. So students, those type of particles, like as these is particles, those type of particles which are used in the formation of matter is known as intermolecular particles. Students, that is known as intermolecular particles, and in between of particles which space is present is known as intermolecular space. That is intermolecular space. So students, what is matter? Matter are those type of substance which occupy space and having mass is known as matter. This is the example of matter. Those type of things which occupy space and having mass present in your surrounding is known as matter, and this is the example of matter. For example, like as books, table, bucket, etc. And matter is classified into three forms, which is solid, liquid and gas. I also give the example of solid, liquid and gaseous state. And how matter is composed? Matter is composed by some particles, which particles are known as intermolecular particles, and these particles are made in the basic unit which is known as atom. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Good morning students, welcome to Shivaji Group of Institutions online classes. This is your biology class. and today I'm going to start the chapter first. So chapter first is tissue. So chapter first is tissue. So student, before discussing the tissue, I want to explain you the cell. So what is cell? The basic unit of every living organism is called cell, or we can say on another word that the structural and functional unit of every living organism is cell. So students, cell is the basic unit of every living organism. What is the organism? Every living things are called organisms. Either they are plants or animals. You know that the living things are only plants and animals. So all the plants and animals are organisms. Okay, and on another word we can say that the cell is the structural and functional unit of every living organism is cell. So what is the structural and functional unit? Students, every living organism is made up of cell. Means that's why it is called the structural unit, because every living organism is made up of cell. And all the functions perform inside the cell. That's why it is called functional unit. Okay, students? Students, as you know that every living organism are made up of cell. So on the basis of cellular organization, the organisms are of two types. First is unicellular organism. Unicellular organism. And second is multicellular organism. So students, what is unicellular organism? The organisms which are made up of only one cell, only single cell are called unicellular organisms, and all the functions are performed by this single cell. So those organisms which are made up of only one cell, only single cell, are called unicellular organisms, and all the functions are carried out by this single cell. For example, amoeba, paramecium, these are unicellular organisms. And what is multicellular organism? Those organisms which are made up of more than one cell. More than one cell are called multicellular organisms. And all the functions, because they are made up of more than one cells, so each cells perform different functions or specific functions. As you know that multicellular organisms are made up of more than two cells, so each functions perform a specific job or specific functions. So there is a various process in our body, like ingestion, digestion, excretion, respiration, circulation. So these are different tasks which are carried out in our body, and each functions are carried out by different cells. So this in the multicellular organism, the different tasks are carried out by different cells. And next is tissues. Tissue. A group of similar cell which work together to do a specific functions are called tissues. Students, a group of similar cells means those cells which are similar in structure, similar in type. Those cells join and form a tissue. And the similar cells which work together to do a specific functions are called tissues. So there are various types of tissues. Means in animals, in plants, there are various types of tissues. If we talk about the tissues in plants, So in plants there are several types of tissues which do the different functions, which perform the different functions. Like first is epithelial tissue, second is ground tissue, and third is vascular tissue. These are the plant tissues. As the name suggests, epithelial tissue. So epithelial tissue is also called protective tissue. This is the protective tissue which protect the plant, and it is the outermost layer. It forms the outermost layer of the plant. Like so, epithelial tissue. Students, this epithelial tissue is the outermost layer of the plant. Means it forms the outermost layer of the plant like this. This is the, and it is also called protective tissue. This is the epidermis. This epidermis layer of the plant is made is the epithelial tissue, and the outer is the epithelial. There is a layer of cuticle. This is the layer of cuticle, which is made up of a waxy substance. A waxy substance. That's why it protects the plant when the plant with those plants which are live inside the water. This cuticle protect the plant from spoiling. Okay, because this is made up of a waxy substance. And the outer layer is the epidermis, which is epithelial tissue, and inner to this is the upper epidermis, and this is the lower epidermis. This is the structure of epithelial tissue combined. And next is ground tissue. So the main function of the protective tissue, epithelial tissue is to protect the plant. Next is ground tissue. Ground tissue form the cortex. Form the cortex of plant. So this cortex found inside the epidermis. As you know, this is the epidermis. This is the epidermis, and the inner part of the epidermis is a cortex cell. So this is the ground tissue which forms the cortex of a plant. The main function of this cortex is to store food. To store food. And next, third is vascular tissue. So vascular tissue is the vascular tissue help in the conduction of water and minerals in plant. Students, you know that what is the need, what is the necessary thing for plant? Of course, it is the water, minerals, sunlight. These are the essential things for the plant. So, these essential things, how the obtain plants these essential things? The plant absorb water and minerals from the soil, through the root. And the root absorb water and minerals from the soil. So how these water and minerals go to other parts of the plant? By the vascular tissue. Because vascular tissue perform a very important role in the conduction. Of water and minerals. So these vascular tissue conduct water and minerals which are absorbed through the roots from the soil to other parts of the plant. This is the main function of this vascular tissue, is the conduction. And vascular tissue are made up of two types of tissues. First is xylem and second is phloem. We will discuss these xylem and phloem deeply in the next topic or next part of our video. And next is the tissues in animals. Students, we will discuss the tissues in animals in our next class. Thank you, students. Have a nice day.
Good morning, students. Myself Aarti Yavre, Geography teacher of Shivaji Group of Institution. Today, I am going to teach Geography first chapter, Representation of Geographical Features for class 7. So let us start the chapter. First, Topographical Survey Map. Students, topographical survey maps are commonly known as topo sheets. They are large scale maps. ये कैसे मैप होते हैं? They are large scale maps based on the accurate survey of the land. These maps show natural features like valleys, rivers, plateaus, mountains. These maps show natural features. They also show man-made features. Like roads, bridges, canals, settlements. तो बच्चों, टोपोग्राफिकल सर्वे मैप क्या होते हैं? They are topo sheets. They are large scale maps. They show both features, natural features and man-made features. Topographical survey maps are useful for navigation, town plans. Both natural and man-made features are portrayed by means of symbol or conventional sign. तो बच्चों ये जो नेचुरल और मैनमेड फीचर्स हैं ये मैप में कैसे पोर्ट्रेट होते हैं? किसके थ्रू? मीन्स ऑफ सिंबल्स और अ कन्वेंशनल साइन जिनको हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? लेजेंड कहते हैं. A list of means of symbol or a conventional sign are called legend. तो बच्चों इन्हीं के थ्रू मैप में दोनों फीचर्स पोर्ट्रेट होते हैं. Now importance of topographical survey maps. There are so many importance of topographical survey map. These maps serve as a guide for travel. ये मैप कैसे हमारी मदद करते हैं? गाइड की तरह. These maps are very useful for military purposes. For geography students, these maps are very useful to study the regional area of the land. Topographical maps provide various information to city planners, architects, town planners, guides, scouts, geographers and geologists, and they are also useful for students to gain the whole knowledge of the world. In India, these maps are prepared by Survey General of Department, Sir George Everest. मुझे पता है ये कौन थे? सर जॉर्ज एवरेस्ट on whose name Mount Everest has been named. तो सर जॉर्ज एवरेस्ट के नाम पर ही माउंट एवरेस्ट का नाम रखा गया. ये कौन थे? was the famous सर्वेयर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया. तो ये भारत के क्या थे? सर्वेयर जनरल थे, सर जॉर्ज एवरेस्ट, जिनके नाम पर माउंट एवरेस्ट का नाम रखा गया. एंड नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, कलर्स ऑन टोपोग्राफिकल सर्वे मैप. यूज ऑफ कलर्स ऑन topographical maps. Both natural and man-made features are shown in topographical map by color. Here are some list of color. Each color has its own importance. Now, first color is yellow. बच्चों येलो कलर क्या इंडिकेट करता है? कल्टीवेबल लैंड. प्लेट्यू. येलो कलर क्या इंडिकेट करता है? कल्टीवेबल लैंड को. कल्टीवेबल लैंड का मतलब होता है दिस लैंड इज यूजफुल फॉर कल्टीवेशन, फार्मिंग. नाउ नेक्स्ट कलर इज ग्रीन. ग्रीन कलर इंडिकेट्स फॉरेस्ट एरिया, lowland area. Forest area and lowland area. Now next color is white. White color indicate uncultivable land. तो white color क्या indicate करता है बच्चों? Uncultivable land. Uncultivable land means this land is not useful for irrigation. You can say barren land. Now next is blue color. Blue color indicate perennial lined wells, streams. तो ब्लू कलर इंडिकेट करता है बच्चों पेरेनियल लाइंड वेल और पेरेनियल स्ट्रीम्स को. पेरेनियल मतलब होता है, पेरेनियल स्ट्रीम मींस अ स्ट्रीम वेयर वाटर थ्रू आउट द ईयर. ऐसी नदियां या ऐसे कुएं जिसमें वर्ष भर पानी रहता है. They are not dry rivers, they are perennial rivers. Now next is brown. Brown color indicate contour lines, their heights. Brown color indicate contour line, their heights and relief features like mountains. Now next color is black. black. Black color indicates dry streams. Dry streams, surveyed tree, surveyed forest. Dry streams and surveyed forest. Now last color is red. Red color indicates different types of settlements. Scattered settlement, dispersed settlement and nucleated settlements. So here are some list of colors that
Hello everyone. This is your computer class. Chapter number 1, hardware component of computer. Students, you know very well, computer system consists of two components. First is hardware component and second is software component. In this chapter, we will discuss hardware component of computer. Now, what is the hardware? Hardware, the physical part, physical and tangible part of computer system is called hardware. Okay. What is the physical components? Physical components are those components like electrical, mechanical and electronic part of the computer system which we can see and touch it. Okay student. Now what is the software components? A set of instructions, a set of programs which perform a specific task is called a software. Now, how many parts of hardware components? Hardware components have two parts. First is the internal hardware components and second is the external hardware components. What is the external hardware components? External hardware components are those components which are attached to the computer internally. Okay, now example are internal like motherboard, ICs, SMPS. These all are components attached inside a computer. Okay, that means कि जो आपके hardware components कंप्यूटर के अंदर होते हैं which we call internal hardware. And next is what is the hardware components? Hardware components are those computer components which are attached to externally like keyboard, mouse, printer, monitor, etc. External hardware components. There are two types of external hardware components. First is input external hardware components and second is output external hardware components. What is the internal hardware components? Internal hardware input external hardware components are like keyboard, mouse, scanner, okay, and output external hardware components. Example are monitor, printer, etc. Okay student, this is sufficient for today. We will discuss in the next class input external hardware components like keyboard, mouse and scanner. We explain in briefly what is the main function of keyboard, function of mouse and function of scanner. Thank you. Have a nice day.